Alright guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So for today we are back with StarvHarv and maybe not history, translated history, but maybe somewhat in that direction. This was a direct request from one of you guys in the comments. How did China start? Allegedly. I hope we will get some randomness in the previous videos before. As always, link to the original video is down in the description. Make sure you subscribe to our man StarvHarv and you support him for his awesome original videos. Alright. Okay, let's get started.
China is old, really old, older than me. But how did China begin?
Yeah, probably.
Who put the Chai in nut? The story starts around 5,000 years ago during the first period of China, known as the Three Sovereigns and Five Emperors, a semi-mythological period that lasted from 2900 BC to 2200 BC. Now, this is according to sources from 2,000 years ago.
Wait. Is that just an educate? Are we watching an actual educational video here? I thought we were gonna watch some stupid shit. Wait, let's see.
About something that supposedly happened 2,000 years before that, so it can only be 100% accurate. First of the three sovereigns is Fu Shi, a god emperor with a snake's body, who lived with a fellow snake-bodied woman called Niu Wa, who was, according to some sources, either his sister or sometimes his wife, or sometimes both.
You know, maybe it's not just Alabama. Maybe every single country has this little bit of Alabama inside of them. Literally.
He was a pretty sagely guy, fancied himself as an inventor, and invented some pretty nifty stuff. He was credited with inventing hunting, fishing, the fishing net, cooking, animal domestication, music, writing, numbers, fire starting, and marriage. And maybe he made the entire Earth.
He invented marriage, what?
It's up in the air. I did try to reach out to Fushi for clarification, but sadly received no reply.
Fushi at 126.com, what? Kind regards, starving harvester.
Possibly as he doesn't speak English. And we cannot discount his sister wife here. Allegedly, she created mankind out of clay. She modelled each person by hand from yellow clay, carefully forming each part, like prehistoric Warhammer, until one day she thought, this takes too long, and decided, screw it, dragged some rope through the mud, and that created the rest. The handcrafted models became the nobles, and the crappy-ass mud boys became the commoners.
Oh my god. That is insane. That is insane. Wow. Gee. Bro. The cultural... No, that's not racism. What do you call it? The segregation or whatever between commoners and nobles has always been crazy for during the time of humanity, be it in European Middle Ages or whatever, or here. But damn, that's some sad lore. All the nobles were handcrafted by the gods, and you were just a fucking byproduct. Wow.
During her time as empress, she fought against a neighboring tribe and defeated their chief. The chief, so butthurt about being beaten by a woman, bashed his head in on the heavenly bamboo, which broke the sky and caused a huge flood, killing everybody in the whole damn world, except for Niuwa and her crew. She then fixed up this catastrophic plumbing issue with 5 magically coloured stones, and the flood stopped. Then she killed a giant turtle and used its legs as support for the sky, but didn't do it right, so it got wonky, which is why the sun rises in the east. In some sources, Niuwa is said to have died during the turtle DIY. Fu Shi, on the other hand, died at the young age of 197 and was succeeded by Shenong. Shenong was a pretty chill, normal guy, had the head of an ox, but a pretty good guy. Shenong was all about farming and herbs. Bro loved them herbs. He discovered loads of different herbs and plants, including tea. He supposedly wrote a book about different herbs, taught the people to use herbs in medicine. His stomach was transparent, like some kind of botanical Teletubby, so people could see what the herbs he ingested did.
That doesn't
like his
sound healthy.
He was a little bit of an inventor, and invented a little something called agriculture. Don't know if you've heard of it.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
At the age of 3, he was able to plow a field by himself, possibly due to his
Wait. At the age of 3.
He showed people, you don't have to eat boring-ass stuff, like meat and clams. Nuh-uh. You can eat grains and seeds and high-fructose corn syrup, and the people considered him a god. But as the story goes, you live by the herb, you die by the herb. And one day, Shenong herbed off more than he could chew, and ate a poisonous plant that caused his insides to rupture, probably on full display due to his stomach window. And then he died before he could drink his antidote. Now, a huge footnote here. It may shock you to the core to learn that history from 5,000 years ago...
History in quotation marks.
Sometimes the 3 sovereigns are Fuxi, Shenong, and Nuwa. Sometimes they say screw Nuwa and elevate the next guy to the sovereign tier. Sometimes it's 3 different guys entirely.
It's he.
Ren, who claimed to introduce the people to fire, or Yan Di, who's also claiming fire.
Yan Di's nuts. I'm sorry, guys. It's 11 in the morning on a Sunday.
Be Shenong. Whichever it may be, it's time for my man Huang Di. Like the sovereign former, he fancied himself a farmer, teaching people to treat animals nice and discovering...
Why am I laughing at the names, bro?
A thinker and a mentor, he was also an inventor, creating weapons of war and clothes for the poor. He was said to have been conceived in a manner most frightening when his mother got off with a bolt of lightning. Wait.
No. Let's go back 5 seconds and let's listen to that again, okay? Let's not make any assumptions.
Been conceived in a manner most frightening when his mother got off with a bolt of lightning.
Okay.
Wait, what? His mother
What the actual fuck?
went to take a walk in the country and saw great lightning around the Big Dipper. She was aroused.
Excuse me, what?
And she conceived.
How? Bitch got turned on by lightning. And impregnated by it. What?
24 months later, she delivered Huang Di.
What? 24
His
months?
mother got big dippered? Anyway, Huang Di was much closer to an actual king or emperor than old see-through Shenong. He fought in battles, apparently besting and merging with another tribe, which is said to have kicked off that whole China thing. Also,
the whole
he had to
China
fight against
thing.
the legendary bastard Qi Yu, who had taken over a bunch of tribes in the area, which pissed Huang Di off. Huang Di called upon 8 tribes to face against Qi Yu's 81 tribes. The 2 sides clashed for days, with Huang Di slowly taking the advantage. To counter this, Qi Yu ripped a fat vape and coated the battlefield in a thick fog. Huang Di's armies fell into complete disarray, unable to see either the enemy or have a chance to retreat. Huang Di had to do something. And he only invented the goddamn southern pointed chariot on the spot, which chased Qi Yu's bum ass out of town. Not to be so easily defeated, Qi Yu once again used his mythical Chinese vape to summon a heavy storm. But Huang Di, so done with Qi Yu's shenanigans, just asked the gods to deal with it and finished off Qi Yu for good. He ruled for 100 years and...
It's the lightning that made a child. Now also killing people.
Died at the young age of 111. He was succeeded by his ancestor,
they're all gone
Xuan
so
Xu.
soon.
Xuan Xu was a little bit of a religious reformer, and wasn't pleased that everyone was listening to dodgy shamans. He also opposed other things he considered cringe and woke, like a matriarchal...
Cringe and woke. Oh. Things that are bad. Women in charge. Oh. Absolutely, we cannot have that, can we?
System and close kid marriages.
Nailing your Game of Thrones. Oh. Yeah. Nailing your sister, bro. I remember when I started watching anime, it was in a similar time frame where people were like religiously watching Game of Thrones. And you know how some of these degenerate animes, they're like the always with the how do we put it? They're teasing the Alabama route, you know what I mean? Sometimes. And so many people talked shit about that. And at the same time, those same people were like watching Game of Thrones, getting off that guy XYZ banged his sister on last episode. Like, bro, what? Huh? One is like teased and animated, the other one is like acted out in real life and like legit full on. What? Where do you draw the line? That's a bit weird, don't you think?
He also closed the path between heaven and earth, which sounds like a pretty nuts thing to do.
What?
But the story goes that the road was previously open for business, and people could freely travel to heaven and back. But much like the M1 to Birmingham,
why the fuck did you close it off then?
Fearsome creatures and wrathful gods came too. Xuan Shu had enough of the divine pillaging and closed the road with the help of his 2 giant grandchildren. Xuan Shu wasn't succeeded by his own son, as you might expect, you clever one, but rather his cousin. This was the case because Xuan Shu's son wasn't intellectually gifted, as they say. And by that, he literally named his son Blockhead. So, Cousin Ku came next after Xuanzhu died young at the age of 98.
That is a
Emperor
great
Ku,
name.
or Deku, was a real brainiac, being able to talk when he was a baby. What does a baby have to talk about? I'm not talking to you. You don't know anything about stuff. You don't pay taxes. It is said that he rode a dragon in the spring and summer, and a horse in the autumn and winter. Not my place to tell a fellow with a dragon what to do, but I think you've got that backwards. It's also said that he's responsible for the invasion.
Also, maybe I'm getting this the wrong way, but wouldn't it logically be smarter to ride a dragon in winter because the dragon can breathe fire and therefore theoretically warm you up? Like, let's say you're traveling with a dragon in the winter, and you're trying to rest and take a nap for the next day. He could warm you up with some fire, with some campfire. Wouldn't that be the better course of action to take than traveling in summer?
To tell a fellow with a dragon what to do, I think you've got that backwards. It's also said that he's responsible for the invention of several musical instruments, including the drum, ocarina, bell, and flute. After ordering his own orchestra, he had people perform and commanded a phoenix to dance. During one especially interesting period, an enemy general was threatening Ku with an invasion. Ku put out a bounty on the general's head, promising his daughter's hand in marriage for the victor. One individual did manage the task and brought the general's head to Ku, and was rewarded and married Ku's daughter. A little asterisk here, the successful individual was a dog. A myth.
It was already bad enough that we bring like the age-old you do something for me, I sell off my child to you as a bride. But no, now it was an animal. You married off your daughter to an animal. Please tell me they didn't have grandchildren.
Mythical dog called Panhu. Now, I appreciate him being a man of his word, but personally, I wouldn't allow my daughter to get that kind of doggy style.
You know what? I'm actually glad he made that joke, and it's not all just me all the time.
Ku kicked it at the age of 63, and was succeeded by Emperor number 4, his son Yao. Although, this is debated. Like most, he may have had a mythical baby daddy. The most wacky of which stated that his mother was the daughter of a god, and her body was surrounded by yellow clouds. One day, whilst relaxing near a river, a dragon flew down to her and knocked her up. 14 months later, Yao pops out, which is a really heartwarming story. Emperor Yao's reign was regarded as a golden age, praised as exactly what an emperor should do. He taught the people to sow different crops according to different seasons, ruled by meritocracy and kindness rather than punishment and fear, and most importantly, invented the game of Go. Everything was great and stuff until the infamous recurring villain of Chinese history reared his ugly wet face. The Yellow River flooded. Catastrophe struck the lands. People died. Whole villages were swept away, and Go games went disturbed.
Oh
called
no.
the special advisors and asked who was capable of stopping these terrible floods. What about your son, Dan Shu? One said. No way, said Yao. He is, quote, unscrupulous and wicked. All the advisors said, Gun will probably do it. A guy named Gun, of course. They weren't going to shoot the river. Yao countered, but Gun's not
Who
great.
knows?
The man's an arse. The advisors countered, okay, but can you try though? And he said, okay. But like a building project in modern day Britain, after 9 years, little progress had been made. Distraught by this, Yao called up his special advisors again. Hey, I'm getting really old. Would you like to take the throne? He offered.
Wait, were they flooded for 9 years straight and survived somehow?
No way, said the special advisors. We aren't great. Unscrupulous and wicked, you might say. Then who else? Yao shouted quietly. I got some guy called Shun. He's unmarried and generally pretty unremarkable. His family is crap, but he's pretty diligent, I guess.
Okay.
Say no more, Yao said, and put Shun through a trial. The test would involve marrying his 2 daughters to Shun. With 2 nagging wives, Shun would surely break.
Bro, the biggest fucking trial of them all. You need to survive with 2 wives, 2 headaches 24/7. 2 periods a month. That's the biggest trial of them all. What the fuck?
His 2 daughters to Shun. With 2 nagging wives, Shun would surely break. But Shun was a good husband, so I guess that qualifies him? And surprisingly qualified he was. Within 4 years, the floods had been stopped completely, and the realm had been put in a better state to address future catastrophes. Yao was old, and he needed a successor. The obvious choice would have been his son, Dan Shu, but he was still unscrupulous and wicked, and therefore he chose Shun to succeed him instead. Shun had a pretty rough childhood. His father was blind, and his mother died. His father then remarried and had another son. So the logical thing to do was kill your firstborn child. The stepmother was a rude woman. She also tried to kill Shun.
Why is it in stories like that the stepmother is always like fucking Satan? Be it in these legends or fairy tales, especially like the Grimm tales, the stepmother is always like fucking Satan. She's the worst of the worst. Why? Why?
His half-brother grew up to be arrogant, a real piece of work. He could be described as unscrupulous and wicked, and he also tried to kill Shun. Before he was put through the signature daughter-marrying test, he lived humbly as a farmer, and yet, when he took the throne and was given power and riches, he still continued to work the fields daily. Despite his attempted murderous childhood, he still mourned and visited his father's grave, forgave his stepmother, and he elevated his brother to the rank of prince.
What?
After Shun is a long history of dynasties and shattering, invasions and floods, up until today. So the question is, did any of this really happen? Was there really a guy with a transparent stomach? Was there a mythical M1 to heaven? Did incestuous dragon-riding snake people rule the land like some kind of Chinese Game of Thrones? Yes, this is all 100% real, and if you disagree, you are unscrupulous and wicked.
Yes, finally we have an educational video from StarvHarv. Yes. That's great. That was a good one. I missed watching StarvHarv. I'm glad we got stuff like that again. I think I'm gonna look through his channel again and see if I can find stuff that we can watch again. Revolving around history and stuff. If you know some videos and you want me to watch them, let me know down in the comments. That was great. StarvHarv is so good. It's amazing. Well, I think we now have a bit of a better understanding about China. I don't know if this is the kind of information you could bring up in like a talk with your colleagues, and so as in like, oh, did you know? Because they're probably gonna look at you like you're a fucking moron. But more knowledge is always nice. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. Once again, StarvHarv did a great job. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see each other in the next video. Until then, take care and have a great day. Bye.